All right, we're back. Thank you very much for sticking to that break. I really, really appreciate it. Alrighty, you guys ready for this? I hope you are, because I know I am. I suppose I should probably unmute myself at some point here. Hi, Dark.
Hi. Do you want to, Stacy? These are the lovely people that. Yeah. Oh, Dark is very,
Slightly excited.
Little bit.
First off, could you guys introduce yourselves right quick?
Yes.
Hi.
Kevin, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. My name's Kevin, and yeah, I'm a producer for the game that you're going to be playing today, Skylar Plux, and also music composer.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm just saying, I'm a musician myself, so I think me and you could talk.
Yes, I think so too. You can notice that, like our hair length, you know.
Yeah.
Right? You can tell by the hair length.
And go ahead, my friend, the one that's above me.
Yes. So my name is Leo. I worked as a programmer for this game.
Okay, so I know I have some questions from my chat that would like to ask you questions. I also myself have a couple, and we're just hoping to have some fun while we talk. I know Dark has a lot of questions because Dark, I'll be perfectly honest, and don't worry, everybody. I'll put it on the gameplay in just a minute. I promise. I'll be honest. I never heard of this game before, but Dark knew my style of games. He knows I'm a huge fanatic for some platforming, Jax and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. And he's like, Stace, just check this out. All right, I'll check it out. And within, 2 minutes of that, of watching the trailer, I was like, I need to play this, man. I love the fact that it was incredibly self-aware. There's so many games out there that take themselves a little too seriously, which is okay. But just have a little fun with it. Smile. Realize it's just a game. Let your players have fun. And that's kind of what I got from the vibe of this just from the trailer, you know?
Yeah, it's this very self-aware game, and we really hope that you like it.
Was that your guys' intention when you went into this? You wanted to make a self-aware game, or?
I would say, yeah, it was our intention when writing the script for the game. We were having lots of fun with just putting we wanted to let the voice actors also improvise and say some fun, like see what fun stuff we can create with these characters. And it was cheesy intentionally, like, yeah.
I mean the point of the game was always to have gameplay first, right?
Okay.
So having to focus on the game first, and then let the story work into there, and therefore having the less serious approach and having more like a fun approach and just trying to see what we can come up with was the.
I wish more companies would do that, because we all have to admit it. We've all played at least one game that took itself a little too seriously, where they were worried about the story first, and they're like, well, we'll get the gameplay in there eventually. You play the game like, well, the story was great, but I could just watched it as a movie instead of played it, because the gameplay was just not thrilling. Where you focus on the gameplay first, I feel it's vital, so vital. So that's why I'm excited, man. Zelfer, I believe it's pronounced, and welcome to the guys. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Alrighty, so let's go and put that over.
When I played it and it actually ended, I was like, oh.
I wanted more. Come on.
Oh. Which is something you want from a video game. You want to sit there and go. You kind of get, as long as you're getting invested in everything. You're like the end. You're like, and you just play it again. Just sit there. You're like, again.
I unfortunately. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just going to talk chat. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so this is our first game that we created together, like for both me and Leo.
Really?
And I think partly because but partly one of the reasons that we made the game also kind of self-aware was that we was kind of afraid that if we were trying to do something too serious, that we would basically fail, like do something that still it could be too cheesy or whatever. So we went all the way and made it, the '90s vibe of just joking with like the tongue-in-cheek kind of
Yeah.
humor. Yeah.
There we go. Now I could probably. I'm trying to see if I can get you guys on the screen a little bit. The one downfall of having a 2 PC setup, it's kind of hard to have like also Discord cameras up. Wait.
Yeah,
Here.
I can imagine.
Just remember, you want to reduce the cameras, hold down Alt, and then bring in the.
Ooh.
See, yeah. This is definitely one of these things where you're kind of talking to you played the game for an hour. You're like, oh yeah. Because I want to wait for Stacey to join because there's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, that once it kind of jumps in and you see everything for the first time, you're like, oh, this is pretty.
Hey, Dark, question for you, sir.
Yes.
Wait, I think I might have just figured it out for myself. Hold on, focus on. I'm trying to figure out how to get it to focus on whoever's talking currently.
Oh, I do individual camera
Crap.
captures.
Well, it was worth a try. Here, I'll store it up there like that. Heck with it. All right, there we go.
While Stacey's messing about, so I mean, how did it actually come about as you guys coming together and actually making this game? Because was it just like you just sitting in like a bar or someone's house one day and go, let's all make a game?
So I was actually on the project a couple of months before Kevin, or I knew about the project a couple of months before. I think I just joined the project maybe 1 month before Kevin did, and it was a student project, and it was a couple of people that made this game, and they were super happy with it, and then they ended up winning the Swedish Game Awards, which is a competition for students in Sweden. And
Really?
yes.
Yeah,
with the
so-
first version of the game.
That's amazing, man.
Like the alpha version of the game. So we're at that time I weren't involved in games at all. I was working as a music producer and musician, and I wanted to get into games, game development. And Leo at that time were studying at this vocational education in Stockholm called Future Games.
Yes.
Yes, and that's where you
yes.
guys.
So they asked me to join. I joined, and then after a while, I happened to meet Kevin at a game jam. Do you guys know what a game jam is?
Yeah, isn't it one of those things where you all kind of come together? This is what you have to do. This is what you need to do. Have at it, or something, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And so it wasn't at all related to this project or even to the school, but I was there, Kevin was there, we started talking, and then I invited him to the office to make music for this game, this small little game that he knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And
Really?
he just comes into the office, and then we talk for a couple of minutes, maybe half an hour, and then he's like, oh, I have all my equipment with me. Should I just start making the music?
Yeah.
You know,
So I
I'll
brought
say
my-
this. I really wish I was at the point of being a musician where I'm like, oh, you want me to get, okay, sounds good. I'll just set up over here and get everything going already.
That's what he did.
I brought my portable music studio with me. I had the monitors and the computer, and I had like a Mac laptop, like a MacBook Pro
Can
at that
can we
time.
just appreciate the fact you have a mobile music setup with you? Now, is this all times, or is it just kind of went? Oh, I better take it just in case, or did you just carry with you at all times?
I had planned before arriving that like we're gonna talk about stuff, and I just want to get into games. So I'm just gonna give them I'm gonna start working right away if they're interested, and just show what I'm willing to, what lengths I'm willing to go in order to start making stuff for games.
That's so cool, man. Could you imagine, though, if it was something he takes with him every single day, folks? Just, here's got a girlfriend or a boyfriend at home. You're like, what are you up to, honey? Oh, just putting the equipment on the car. Why? Taking a drive downtown. I don't know. Just because. No shit. All right, chat. I give you Scarlet and Plux, A Venture on Clover Island.
In the outskirts of our galaxy, a relic from the ancient progenitor civilization has surfaced.
We'll be talking a little bit more after the intro plays, in case anybody's wondering in chat.
Some say heroes aren't born. Heroes are made. I guess cliches exist for a reason, because our hero is just in the making.
Bob, how is our test subject doing? Oh, well, look who's awake. Our little thief. Are you really so stupid as to think you could steal from the great CRT? Heck, I'm not even sure how you're still alive after that gruesome reconstruction. But hey, I'm not complaining. Once your brand new arm's complete, you'll be able to sucker punch people into orbit, baby. Now, if all this sounds a little strange to you, it's probably because I've started removing your memories. I know. A tad extreme, but that's just how I roll. Can't let you keep that pesky free will of yours, can we? Okay, bye now.
Installation
I have to say,
This was
voice
another
acting on
unfortunate
point
turn of
so
events.
far, man. I love it. It just sells the freaking character of CRT.
Stand by. Initialize kinetic weapon system.
Thanks, man.
It would seem that you have a much greater role to play, Skylar. Let's get you out of here.
I love it. You have the villain is a friggin' CRT computer screen. Now, maybe it's just because I remember doing LAN parties and going to my buddy's house to hang out where I bring the entire computer with me. CRTs are the friggin' enemy. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah, they were like, how much could they weigh back in the day? It was a lot.
Oh,
my God. I know it was.
Go ahead, sir.
I know it was enough that if you ever had to pick it up, you'd either start off with like, you wanted to pick it up, you're like, no, this is two of us, no, three of us, and now you could pick up like what your flat screen on it with one hand. You're like, yeah, I'm fine, and then potentially drop it. But you know, at least with, I suppose with a CRT monitor, if you drop one of those things, have you ever seen one explode? So that's fun.
I will
I
not
know.
affirm nor deny that I've blown up a few with explosives in the past. I mean, I'm American after all. It's kind of a birthright. We're born, we blow things up. It's what we're supposed to do. One question from what did I do wrong, Dark? I thought that was a good joke.
Oh dear.
It's like the self-deprecating jokes are the best.
Right? Question from Zelfer in chat. Question for the developers. Were there any major / big additions to the game that they had to cut because of budget time restrictions? And how do you think it affected the game if you had to cut any?
Yeah, we had to cut a lot, right, Leo?
I think we probably cut more than we kept. I mean,
Really?
I'm gonna be honest.
Was it
Yeah.
just the time constraints then, or just not able to pull it off?
mean-
or
Oops,
Mostly
my
the
camera
time
disappeared.
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I figure you'll get it back eventually, but
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I'm working on it.
sounds good, man. No worries.
It says your USBs come unplugged.
Oh,
Don't bother jumping those containers.
Yeah.
It's not like you can jump twice in the air or something.
It's fine. It's fine. To be honest with you, I mean, Stacey can contest is every time we do one of these things, if it ever goes smoothly, the pair of us would go out and buy a lottery ticket. I'm just saying.
honestly, yes. I'm trying.
Everyone's like
Go ahead, Dark. I'm sorry, buddy.
technical difficulties in this thing. It happens. It's like again. God damn it.
Let's see here. Vertical look.
Yeah.
Stride.
It's just I'm sitting on a laptop that doesn't have a webcam, so I used one of those apps in the iPhone.
That makes
Yeah,
so
and
much
now-
more sense.
But I think I'm probably gonna switch to my iPhone because I just wanted to have a stable connection. But if it's not working with the camera, I'm gonna switch to my iPhone and hopefully it'll be as
It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
so okay, using Discord on
The
your
spin
phone then, I
attack
guess.
also functions as a triple
Yeah.
jump while in
Okay.
the air.
I think it's gonna be better.
Oh, that's friggin' cool.
But
Sorry.
but to answer your question, like yeah, we had to cut a lot of stuff, mostly because well, was our first game. We weren't aware of. We had to learn a lot about maintaining like the plan and like the learning how to make us. We had to create the pipeline for making a 3D platformer along with making the game. So I usually joke about it and say that we spent 2 years making the game, 1 year to or rather 1 year of figuring out how to make a game at all, and then the last year to actually making it. More or less.
Yep. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
See, because from a game designer standpoint, that's got to be kind of sucky for you. Sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm going to put all this in," but what? I have. You kind of get. I suppose you've had all these huge plans, and then they tell me, "Well, you've only got this amount of money and this amount of time." You're like, "Oh, well."
Well, I guess we won't do it after
Yeah.
all. Well, except
But I mean, our approach was always to try to, like, the thing that we had in the game, that was the only thing we knew for certain. So we didn't have like any big hopes or like, you know, it wasn't a big letdown when we had to cut stuff. It was
Okay.
always the mentality of what we have in the game. That's what we know, and that's also what is, you know, that's what you know for sure.
There you go. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm enjoying this a little too much. I'm sorry. I'm really enjoying this.
That's nice to hear.
I suppose,
that's a
yeah.
good thing.
I'm losing
Thing is,
myself.
is
That's why I'm so glad Dark's here, because I'm enjoying the game. Like, oh yeah, conversation, duh.
The thing is back when I was talking to Stacey about it, it's like, "Oh, I want this in my life," and like 5 minutes later, I was like, "Check your Steam account." It's like, why? Like, just check your Steam account. Oh, there it is. As soon as like he mentioned that he wanted to play it, I was like, "Yeah, have the game, have the game."
Yeah, I was thankful at the same time. I was like, stop spending money on me. What are you doing, man? So what, like, what were some of the? Okay, actually, here's another. Well, here we'll get into that question in a minute. What were some of the difficulties to start programming? Oh, I know I'm going to slaughter your name, and I apologize. Please don't take it personally, Sylvan.
We haven't.
Sylvan?
Yeah. I'm Kevin and my friend's Leo.
Leo. I thought it was.
Leo.
Oh, I thought you
No,
said something with
that-
the S.
No,
S. No.
Am I that
Shit,
deaf today?
No, don't worry. They've already been told how badly you can slaughter people's names. It's fine.
Yeah. No worries,
That's
man.
okay.
Sorry, Leo. Go ahead, guys.
I'm happy I have your names on the screen. Otherwise, I would forget as well. So don't worry about it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Stacey remembers his name. It's usually written in his underwear.
He's not wrong, and that's the issue. What's my? Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. Stacy. Okay, sounds good.
It's where he wears Calvin Klein's underwear by mistake, and it's like he goes around telling everyone that's what his name is for the rest of the day. Anyway, so I mean, when obviously you said there's a lot of constraints, you had to cut a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously you as a company kind of tweeted out recently that you were going to bring the game back. Does that mean that some of the missing stuff will go into it?
Yeah, we're working on it. I mean, so Leo actually doesn't work at our company anymore.
Oh
but
no, huh?
Yeah, but he's working at another
See
very
those swing
very
nodes?
nice
Use
very
your
nice
grappling
company.
beam to
Well,
swing
so-
Are you allowed to talk about where you work?
I mean, I can talk about what I'm working, but I can't really talk about the games that we haven't announced.
Yeah, don't worry, we
Yeah,
all know
Or
about
like the stuff that we haven't announced. That's
It's
the only
fine.
thing I can't talk about.
I know too much about NDAs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Don't worry about it.
So, but yeah, we when we created this game, we put all of our own savings. I mean, not all of our own, but we used our own savings. We used our own money in order to make this game happen. We didn't have a publisher. We had a publisher, but the publisher that we had didn't finance the production, the development of the game. We financed it ourselves, and then when we released the game, I mean, it went good for it being. I mean, we sold quite well in regards to it being the first game that we created, but it wasn't enough for us to, you know, continuing the same path everyone like developing stuff. So we had to split up basically and start working in the games industry on our own.
Okay.
And also, and we were overworked after creating the game. Also, like we put a lot of work into the game.
So just
We
incredibly
crunched
burnt
a
out
lot.
by the entire process, or?
Yeah, I would say that, and also burned out by the actual cooperation with the publisher. It was a pretty hard experience for us to learn how to manage that kind of relationship.
Yeah, especially from like working from they were in a different country, so we had to talk to them like this and stuff. Like we never met them in real life. So, and that was before anyone of us had this Corona experience. So working from home was very new for me, or like working remote with someone.
Yeah.
And that was back way before Discord was a thing, and being able to send files was so easy. I mean, having to use things like Zoom and Skype. Oh.
Yeah.
Skype.
Yeah, I think that's what we used.
Now's your chance,
Skype
Skylar.
was-
Escape.
But yeah,
I mean,
no
from a
Discord.
no, I can just that's got to. Oh, I don't want to imagine a world without Discord. Oh,
So we had a deal with our publisher. It was a publisher from the Czech Republic that we signed a deal with in order to distribute this game, and we had kind of like a cooperation, like a co-development kind of deal where they were making content for the game as well, and also porting it to game consoles. So the cinematics that you see here is actually created by the publisher. And I remember the first time we saw the cinematics, we were we were very astonished of the quality, because in our head we had like this other, we thought that we would get like animated cinematics and stuff like this. So many things that can go wrong with cooperating with a publisher if you don't have it in writing exactly what the publisher is supposed to do.
well, if it helps at all, I mean, it's coming from a fan. The way that it's done, it kind of gave me the image of having like an animated, like a comic book, and it kind of, for me, I'm repeating myself, I just noticed, it gave me that, it kind of gave it a special, unique feel to the entire game. And considering how the game it is, with it being self-aware and in some parts of it childish styled humor that made me giggle more than I'd like to admit, it added to, I mean, this is just my opinion, but it added kind of like to the charm and made me want to keep coming back, because I actually look forward to those cutscenes. Really look forward to those. Like,
I was about to say, so far it's I'm more than slightly impressed by the cutscenes. Like I'm surprised that they were able to pull it off without it directly in writing, like you were saying. I really didn't think there'd be that much of a learning curve with publishers. I figured they'd be more like, they know what they're doing, so let's teach you. But same time, I guess they would kind of walk all over you if you don't really stand up for yourself in a way, huh?
Yeah, it's also I mean, it was different in culture because they come from a different country that has a whole different, just, you know, way to communicate, and like and we have a different way to communicate. I mean, we're from Sweden. We're, I don't know if we're famous for being some, I don't know if our culture is famous worldwide, how we are as a society, but we have our ways to communicate, and it's often like, you know, we tend to beat around the bush a lot. If there's something that we don't like, we tend to try to find ways to express ourselves very constructive and not destructive. Like, we're very keen on communicating in a nice way, so to speak.
So the complete reverse of Stacy.
The worst thing for a Swede is something that we call dålig stämning, and that literally just means like bad mood within a group. Just just
this awkward
the
move,
fact
you know.
that something is a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing for a Swede.
Yeah, Swedes tend to avoid that at great lengths.
Ooh, I found a campfire. Can I light myself a fire?
Stacey's sitting there playing a lovely, colourful game. He finds a fire. He's like, can I burn myself? Jesus, Stacey.
It was a question. I was just asking, sir. I'm sorry.
Serious, if this actually helps, this Skylar and Plux actually came before Yooka-Laylee. Yeah, pretty much everything came came after Banjo-Kazooie when you think about it. It was Nintendo's
Yes. It came after Banjo-Kazooie. The music is partly inspired by Banjo-Kazooie. So in that regard, it reminds you a bit of Banjo-Kazooie, but doesn't at all doesn't have the same how do you say, like semi non-linear progression style that Banjo-Kazooie has. This is much more linear, much more you have this level and then the next one comes, etc. So
I know a lot of times linear is a really dirty word in gaming, but I think of this one, it works really well. I mean, it feels great, man. I can't, it's friggin' beautiful. It's fun. I know this is going to sound like a really dumb compliment to you guys, but the controls work. Now,
nice.
I can't be the only one to say I played enough games to know what bad controls are. The controls just work and they're good. They feel right. They don't feel like, wow, why did it do this? This doesn't make sense. I don't get it. The controls feel like I'm sliding on ice. The controls just make sense and they work. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you. That's the thing I work the most on.
Nice.
He spent a lot of time polishing, improving, and iterating upon the controls.
See, because this is the thing, and back when your Twitter account were on about mentioning you were on about a Switch port and what type of things you were going to put into the Switch port. I'm the one that said, well, how about you make the game aware whether it's in dock mode or anything like that. But on terms of like controls and stuff, controls are important for me and a large chunk of the gaming community, especially recently, because I have a disabled son. I have, after shoulder surgery, I have a very large difficulty with holding controllers and stuff. And the game, because the controls work, and because it's a very simple control system, which is good, especially for accessibility and everything else. But it kind of, because the controls are easy to remember, you can find yourself getting lost in it quite easily. And that's what you want. I liked the fact that I was just like, well, how do I do this power up? Right, no, I just need to push this button, that's it. And I was able to lose myself into the game, which was nice for me. It was nice for me. I mean, it's again, beautiful game. Now, I need to ask Leo something because it's from a coding and game design. I mean, what exactly? Oh, words are hard.
Happens the best of us, buddy. Trust me.
Can I just ask you one thing? You can, like, my video is not showing in the stream. I noticed. I don't know why.
Oh,
really.
that's weird. I can see your video though.
I say I can't see your cam at all.
Me.
No, give me 2 seconds.
It looks
here.
good for me.
Oh, because it's.
Oh, there's back. Hey, good call, man. I thought your cam was just down the whole time. That's it.
All right.
Well, thank you, sir.
No problem, man.
Like I said at the beginning, usually we're so used to technical issues happening, that we just kind of like, that's fine.
What's wrong with it? Whatever, just go.
We're live, man. Whatever happens live, you just gotta go on.
We're doing it live, damn it. We'll do it live.
Don't fall, Stacy. No. Okay. I think I'm good.
Obviously, because you were a small team, and having to do a lot of the work. I mean, you had obviously music, game design. You have graphic design. Well, I mean, that's what five of you, six total.
Yeah, we were 5. At all times, we were about 5 people working simultaneously full time. But there were some people going in and out of the project. So there were more than 5 people, but not more than 5 people at the same time working full time with the project in-house.
Yeah, that now I remembered what I was going to say. Now, Leo, when people talk to you about the game, are they constantly do you get it looks like Jak and Daxter? It reminds me of Crash Bandicoot. I mean, did you take any inspiration from those types of games, or just out of curiosity?
Definitely. When people say it looks like those games, I take great pride in that, because we were just, as Kevin just mentioned, we were just a handful of people working on this game, and these games are made by legends in the games industry.
Yeah.
And these games are legendary for creating a genre and like exploring it and making so many like childhood memories for me and my friends and developers for this game and stuff. So that someone plays the game and says, okay, it feels really good, then obviously they're comparing it to those games, and when they say, oh, it looks like that game, then I just see that as a compliment, and then of course you can always try to be more original or whatever, and so we try to put our own spin on it sometimes. And, I think hopefully that shows as well.
Stacey, are you anywhere near any water?
Yes, sir. I found out.
I was about to say, jump in the water, because if I remember rightly, there is a voice line of certain things when you jump in the water. The main character does actually comment on. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to tell you. You can wait and find out. Someone push him in.
Hey!
Oh yeah. So now the Elder is talking about the 3 different levels, or we're talking. We're seeing the stream a bit after. But just a fun trivia about this weird looking character that is the Elder. So we had an extremely tired and burned out character artist, right? He was working so hard on making the characters look as good as they could, because we were getting basically bashed by the publisher. The character needs to look better. The character needs to look better. So he was iterating, remaking the characters on.
This is probably the 4th iteration that ended up in the game, at least.
Yeah.
And that's like the finished character. We had animations and everything for the other ones.
Yeah, they're still in the game. So, for instance, like we had another robot character that we started out with before switching it to a cat anthropomorphic character called Milo, and we're actually planning on having him as a boss now, like in a boss battle, because we already have the animations and everything.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, but so weird. So the special looking character over there, the Elder, is the last character that the character artist made, and he was so tired. I was like, we were practically begging him to make just one more character, please. Can you just? We need one more character. It can just be a blob, all right? It doesn't have to be super detailed or complicated. Like just a little, just a blob.
Just something, man. Come on.
Yeah, and he made this like hideous looking character, and he imported it to our project. And I remember so vividly when we read like the file of the asset, the file of the character. It was FML NPC. So internally, this character is called FML NPC. We call Elder, or the lowest.
Yeah.
We call them FML NPC.
I love that, man.
Trivia for you.
Oh dear God!
I love the fact he's just that frustrated. Like, I don't care. Here, have it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
The funny thing is, I remember looking at the Elder for the first time. I'm like, that looks like a giant Tweety bird.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. But it's definitely one of those things. Obviously, you kind of get frustrated. You must have gotten frustrated by the end of it. You're like, oh dear God, no, one more. Which is a shame. But I mean, obviously, I appreciated it. My kids appreciated it. There's obviously thousands of people that did. But there is one thing. There is one thing I wanted to know. Why write nice games? Is it just because you wanted to be Maker Nice, or is it actually any meaning behind it, or is it just because you got the initials RNG?
It's a very good story. This was also, so we had this during the education, we had this teacher, the former one teacher at the education, and one time he was trying to say an expression in Swedish that is rätt nice.
That's nice.
Rätt nice. And then he was always in the education they always speak English.
Yeah.
So he quickly translated it like pretty nice to right nice instead.
Yeah, because
then-
that nice
yeah.
means pretty nice in Swedish.
Yeah.
So.
But then he said right nice, and then everyone, or there was like some people in the class started saying it all the time,
Oh,
and
God.
then that turned out to be the name of the company in the end.
That poor teacher's like, I get it. I get it.
I think he wasn't aware. I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite a nice little story. It's not like you just sat around a table one day and went just like, oh, I don't know, and you just. But it all comes from a mistranslation because of it. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. I mean, the fact that the professor is now kind of immortalized in this story and in the name of the company is quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, and it's
Would
also
you
like it's
dare say,
we-
Dark, it's right nice instead of pretty nice?
Oh God, how do I kick him out of the call?
it's nice.
Oh,
it's
God.
right nice.
Oh dear God, that was terrible. The funny thing
Right,
is, I have to warn you now, Stacy is a father of 4, so the dad jokes are strong with him.
That's great. It's 4
yeah.
times as strong.
Oh,
Exactly.
The force is strong within this one.
Oh dear God, the dad jokes are just terrible.
One question that we had a little bit earlier is, and you already kind of talked about it, but Kevin, but Leo, how did you get into making games then? Because I know, Kevin, you were talking about how you were originally a musician and you just wanted to try it. Oh, no, dice time.
Hello, it's just like, yeah.
I'm just gonna
well,
watch the stream quickly. Here.
Just
What
imagine,
happened?
just imagine, just talking.
Okay.
Sit there, like, yeah, Leo, how did don't jump off and don't die.
Oh, there's my hearts. Oops. Oops. I had the video over the hearts.
Ah, yes.
I knew that.
If it helps, put it in the bottom left-hand corner. If I remember rightly, nothing happens in the bottom left-hand corner. You need to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, nothing happens there.
Thank you very much, sir. Cheers. All right. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it would be. Yeah, Leo, how did you join and get into the whole thing?
So for me it was when I was looking for a upper secondary school is the official definition. It's sort of around high school, American high school.
Mhm.
And I was looking for an education, and I knew I wanted to do like
Alrighty then. I've
something
been
with
soaring
technology,
around this
something
place
with
for years, finding that
like
fuse should be a
science
piece of cake.
stuff.
Okay.
And then I found this education with games, and it had all the same merits, except that instead of programming just normal
Stop waiting
applications
for too
or
long.
like
I'm waiting for my papa to come
like
and get me.
doing math
He'll be back
about
any day now.
or reading history
Oh, no,
about
no.
technology.
No. Ow. That hurt. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, so
Sorry.
that's okay. I'm happy that you like the game.
Yeah, you're engaged in the game. That's great, man.
Yes, so I found this education that had the same merits, and then I was like, okay, if it has the same merits, why not try it? And then I made games at the education, and then I was like, oh, this is fun. I could do this, and then I just kept doing it for that education. I moved on to the next education, and then like this Skylar and Plux project was introduced to me, and just feels like I never made like a big decision or stuff like that. Just like
Going
there
up?
were opportunities and I took them.
He just went with the flow.
Yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
just like
Actually.
was meant to be. Everything was cool.
So
Just
And then he had to work hard on this game.
He's like, what a great opportunity. Why did I do this?
What a great opportunity to work for free. Burn yourself out totally in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, ow, 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 ow. Okay, we're good. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, you started out very young, right? I mean, you're still young, I'd say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you went directly after,
Oh, ow.
how do you say it in English? Upper secondary school or like high school? Is it
high school. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, high
Yeah.
school.
So yeah, I'm 25 and I've been making games professionally for 5 years now.
Yeah, that's.
You know,
That's funny.
why is
That's
it, Dark? Every person you invite on this stream for me to interview is always massively more successful than I've ever been in my entire life. All I have to say to my name is I've had a #1 talk show locally. That's about it.
Well, what you have to remember is people measure success in different ways. Okay.
Yeah.
You've had your #1 talk show. You're here on Twitch. You have 4 lovely children. You know, you have a community that that looks after you, and you look after everybody in it. And if I hear you whinge one more time, I swear to God. You have to remember, so I've known Stacey for years, and people seem to think that there's an animosity between us, but it's not. It's like arguing with your brother, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
But now I get this like like now it felt like I was just bragging, and that's not what I'm trying
Oh
to do.
no.
The
I'm
Swede
just,
in me is like, no, you can't do this.
Oh no.
What I'm
The
saying
Swede
is-
in him has to explain that he's not a bragger.
No, Stacey has a habit of because obviously with the humor and everything. If you've noticed, he kind of goes straight for the humor and stuff. But yeah, it's just one of those things. And then you just have to. If he ever says anything that you think, oh, I need to explain, just ignore him. It's easier that way.
I always go for laughs. It's part of who I am, and then I find, especially on this stream, I tend to be the easiest target, so I just go with it.
Yeah.
So-
Easy. Oh, sorry.
I just wanna, sorry. As a Selfer, he asked, were there any secrets put into the challenge?
Trying to get to all the questions, but I'm like, I need to take time to get all of them. Oh no.
So I thought that because Stacey's obviously getting distracted by not dying, I thought I'd pull up his stream as well so I could pull the questions up too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Selfer
gentlemen.
asked, were there any secrets put into challenge the player and was really hidden? Well, so if the question is, do we have anything hidden to the player? We have stuff hidden, and like there are some challenges that's hard to, like there are some places that's hard to get to intentionally, unless you have. Like there are some mechanics or way of using the controls that we didn't really explain in the game, but that you can figure out by yourself.
Okay.
And manage to overcome to access some areas that otherwise is inaccessible.
No! Ow!
Yeah, and like if you're really into playing games that are really hard, then this game has an active speedrunning community, and they're doing bunny hopping and stuff in the game. So you can go really fast.
In Stacey's case, he could go fast if he stopped jumping off of the platforms.
Listen, sir,
So
it was
I
a
think
good
the-
idea at the time.
I think the world record for finishing this game is in any percentage. It's not 100%.
Yeah.
It's any percent. Is I think it's 13 minutes, something like that.
Holy hell.
Maybe something. Yeah, I think something like that.
So this
Mind you-
game is extremely speedrunnable.
Yeah, I mean, I say that. I mean, 13 minutes isn't that bad. When you look at the original Pokemon, oh, you go 13 minutes 23 seconds. Is that? Oh God. Hi, Claygon. Yeah, I'm not good with names. But yeah, I mean, look at the original Red and Blue. What was it? It's like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds by using a glitch.
No! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Up!
I can't see people wanting. I mean, I get speed running, and you want to see how quickly you can do it, but stuff. I kind of took my time because I want to enjoy everything. I mean, in Stacey's case, he's taking his time because he seems to enjoy being magnetized towards all the water.
I am perfect, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're supposed to jump from one thing to the other and not go for a dive.
Oh, I'm not supposed to go in the hell this whole time, sir. I thought water, magnet, works naturally, of course, yes.
Well, think about it this way. Cats don't like water, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I mean, this is a good one for you, Leo. I mean, obviously the game was a challenge because of constraints and everything, but what for you was a challenge? We'll ask the same question to words are hard, to Kevin in a sec.
For me, I think the character and the camera especially, working with that, like I did that throughout the project, and then like making changes to the jump heights and stuff like that are like very controversial because you have to redo stuff in the game if you would do that. So setting that early on, but still like trying to make it better and make it feel better. And when you get a new idea, we were always like learning throughout the process. So stuff like that. One example, like to make the game feel better, is that if you go somewhere there's a light source, and you put the camera and then you move it like so that you can see it from above, then you see that Skylar has a shadow. But then when you jump, you get a drop shadow, like a circle, so you know where you're gonna land. So it's like a fake shadow, so you know exactly where you're gonna land, and then it disappears when you land because it looks better.
Nice.
And then you don't need it anymore.
That's actually very cool. Now, before I ask you, Kevin, the same question, someone said, speaking of glitches, if an exploit is found that helps speedrunning, would you intend to patch that or leave it as a quote-unquote... I did the quotation fingers again, Stacey.
Sure.
Would you leave it as a feature?
Oh.
So Leo, explain that.
That has happened. So one day when I was playing the game, I noticed that when you were jumping, sometimes you went a little bit too fast. Like you had faster speed that I intended the player to have, and I played around with it for a while, and then I noticed that so there is a way to get the character to move faster in the air, and then after a while I realized I can keep this momentum with Skylar and Pluck's own version of bunny hopping, and then in the end, like I had super high speed and clipping through the whole thing by just like jumping, like with the right timing, and I felt like this is kind of nice, and it's like a part of speedrunning, but like flying through everything makes you able to skip big parts of the game. So what I did was that I capped the max speed of the character, but I didn't remove the feature altogether. So you can move really, really fast with bunny hopping, but you can't clip through stuff. So essentially, I reworked it in a way to make it more fun, but not removing the glitch or like the speedrunning exploit.
So he kept the bug, but he did it more stable.
Okay.
He stabilized the bug, so it didn't go all crazy.
Ow! Okay, we're good. No, well, ain't gonna work.
So Kevin, from a musician standpoint, what exactly was the challenge? I mean, what was the challenges for you as a musician? I mean, apart from having to lug your own personal equipment around with you all the time.
We have flight!
You found the jetpack. It allows you to hover through the air, rocket jump to high
I left the
places,
equipment
and
at
rocket
the
roll
office.
over your enemies. Remember,
good.
Actually, so
Very
I
happy for that.
carried around. Yeah, but I think one of the hardest things was to actually juggle creating the music and the sound and at the same time being a producer for the whole production of the game, because I was managing the team and trying to keep them motivated to continue on, and focusing on the right things, and just making sure that they're and at the same time, like so I was playtesting the game a lot, and then every once in a while I had to create some music, and I felt that my time was extremely limited when it came to creating the music. So it was quite often that I had to decide that, okay, so I'm gonna create this music for this area, and I have kind of like 3 hours to do it. And then I sat down and just created something that I felt could fit into the certain area, and then let everyone play test it.
I remember this distinctly when I was one day I was playing the game, and the next day Kevin was like, the music is done for this particular area and it's in the game, play it. And then I played it. I was like, it's perfect. You must have been working on this for a very long time. And he was like, no, I did it tonight or last night.
My God, are you just like a savant when it comes to music? I mean, seriously.
That's quite impressive, I have to admit. I mean, could you just imagine? Just imagine just sitting there and going, "I want to play the game. Oh, but I need to make some music. Ah, shit." And then just magically having the musical capability, just being able to do it straight away. I mean, that's quite impressive. That's really impressive. That's wow. I mean,
thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot of. I was very inspired by, I was hyped for the fact that I was making my first game together with a bunch of people. So that gave me a lot of energy and motivation to, and inspiration, of course, to like, all right, let's. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know if the music would have been much better if I put more hours on it, to be honest. It was one of those kind of stream of consciousness things.
It just came so naturally that no matter how much time you put into it, it would have been perfect, more or less, right?
Yeah, I think so because the game was it reminded me so a lot about the older games that we played when we were kids. I played a lot of Nintendo games, everything from 8-bit era to 16-bit, and then Nintendo 64, PlayStation 32-bit, and it goes on and on. So I was very conscious about what kind of inspiration I took inspiration from specific, like maybe not specifically these or those games, but it was specifically like out of a feeling from when I was a kid and played the games earlier. I kind of trying to find some abstract but very vivid feeling from within, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you went from that, if you went from feelings and personal experiences, I've got a funny feeling that if you put any more work, as you said, into it, I think it may have destroyed the heartfulness that comes with the music. Because if everything feels like it fits every single area, it definitely fits the situations, and everything feels kind of organic and natural. And if you kind of came to these conclusions with the music when in 3 hours because you just kind of had the inspiration that it hit, I mean, this might just be me and me trying to make, but yeah, it's one of those ones where if you think it's good and you think it's perfect, then you need to leave it.
Yeah.
Having to work with Stacey on a regular basis because he's an audiophile, which means he'll be sitting there. There'll be nothing wrong with the stream. He's sitting there going, "I can hear static." No, Stacey, it's just you. I can hear it though, and he then ends up messing with things and making everything broken.
That's one of the great things with restraints, that they can in the end of the day they can become virtues. Like to be time restrained can actually push you and challenge you to actually finish things off, not to be overly perfectionistic about the things that you're doing.
Exactly.
So this is what the the process for creating the music was very like, I need to do this, and I need to do this today. I need to do this. I need to finish this part of the game within like 3 hours or 4 hours often.
Yeah, well, wait a second. Lord, if you're gonna buy it, go to Steam, search Skylar and Plux in Steam. Lord sat there and was like, "Oh, I need to buy it now." Yeah, go to Steam, buy it from Steam. It's also on Xbox One and I think PlayStation 4 as well.
Yeah, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Steam, and GOG.com on PC.
There you go. Now, it's been an hour, gentlemen, so I think we all need to get up, stretch, and then it's hot, so I think we all need to get up, stretch, and get something to drink, cool ourselves down a bit, and then come back. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a fantabulous plan, sir.
So we'll all go. We'll take a 3 to 4 minute break. Come back. Go to the bathroom and stretch and everything else, because sitting still for too long in this amount of heat is going to make you stick. And I'm sitting in a leather chair, so not fun.
I know exactly what you're talking about, sir. Everybody, we'll be back in just a minute. Please stick around. When we get back from break, we're going to continue this amazing conversation with these wonderful people. Thank you guys so very much for being here. I'll see y'all in a few short minutes.
Yeah, and we'll see you in a sec.